Hey Jackson, this is Coach Holtman. This is your pitching mechanics review for the month of December. I'm going to start by just playing through your mechanics here in slow motion. Okay, so there's really 5 phases of delivery that we look at. The first phase is hip load. During hip load, we want that front leg to move track up towards that back shoulder, which is what you do. You do a pretty good job of that. Okay, the second thing is as we go into hip lead, the second phase, I want to see your hips go before your shoulders. Okay, now you're doing a decent job of that here, but one thing that I notice is as we get out to hip lead, look at this back foot. Okay, we want to keep that back heel anchored to the ground as long as possible as we move down the mound. Alright, if you'll notice, your back knee isn't tracking towards the catcher, it's actually tracking towards kind of the third baseline. Alright, so as we move into hip load, or as we move into hip lead, I want to see more distance between our where our back knee starts and then where it's tracking towards. We want that thing tracking towards the catcher. Okay, you'll notice that as we move farther into delivery, alright, your lower half is tracking more in a direction this way and not towards our catcher this way. Okay, so we'll spend a lot of time working on that as we move throughout the off season. Okay, and so because your hips aren't able to open up that far and you get on that toe early, alright, we have to rotate open early on the front side. And so see how your shoulders are already opening up as you go into front foot strike? Okay, they should actually still be closed off and create what we call hip to shoulder separation. Alright, and so we'll talk about this more over the next month and try to get you in some better positions here so you can throw a little bit harder and also improve your command. Okay, and then as we go into release, one thing you'll notice is that this front leg doesn't really extend. Okay, when we release the baseball, our front leg should be completely straight. Alright, but since you don't have very good lower half direction and your upper body is forward, alright, since your upper body is tilted this way in front foot strike instead of, I'm going to do that. Okay, instead of this way, alright, technically when we get a front foot strike, our head should be back here. Okay, but since you're so far forward, we don't have time for that front leg to extend fully. Alright, see how it starts to extend, but it's not until after release. Okay, so if we're able to keep our head back, keep our weight back longer, we'll have more time to get our hips all the way open. We'll create better hip to shoulder separation, which will improve both our velocity and our command. Alright, so all of that starts way back in here, and it has to do with how this back leg moves us down the mound. Okay, so we'll spend a lot of time working on that over the next month. Alright, like always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're looking forward to seeing what improvements we can make in the month of January. Thanks.